Test 1, 2, hey, 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 hello, hello. Test 1, 2, hey, 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 hello, hello. Test 1, 2, hey, 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 hello, hello.
Good morning. I have great news for everyone. You are a part of the largest new international group of students coming in. This is wonderful, okay? What that also means is every seat in this room will be filled. So if there is an empty seat next to you that is in the middle, rather than having somebody crawl all the way over to the middle, please move over that one seat. Fill in all empty seats, please. We will have to fill up the first 3 rows. There are no persons in the first 3 rows. Please come in and sit down. Make your way forward. We will use every seat possible in this room. Please fill in every empty seat. As you're coming in, please make your way forward. There are 2 full rows empty right here in the front. Every seat will be taken in this theater. Folks in the back, there are empty seats in the middle. Please move your way in so others can easily get on the outside seats. Those of you in the back 4 rows, we need you to move in so that there is no empty seat. Folks who are just walking in, we have every seat in the house will be taken. So if you see an empty seat, take it. We have an entire front row that is empty. You won't even have to fight for that seat. Come on in and sit down. If you have an empty seat next to you and you're in the middle, please move over. If you don't know the person next to you, take this opportunity to meet somebody new. Make a new friend. For those of you who are just walking in, every seat will be filled here, so please take the first seat that you see is available. We have some in the front row that are available. Students who are just coming in, please make your way forward.
500, right? Like we know for sure. So there's definitely some stragglers, right?
Yes.
Maybe like
Just
well,
double
instead
check the Bayou 2512. I don't know, but
yeah, there might be
one
some
up there.
Okay.
Students, as you are coming in, we are going to fill every single seat. So if you see an open seat, please sit down. We have the entire front row is open, so if you have just come in, that is your best place to get a seat and still sit with the friends you came with. If you are sitting in the middle parts of a row and there is an empty seat next to you, or even towards the end of a row and there is an empty seat next to you, please move in. We don't want to make anybody shift over and cross over you. Good morning. As you're coming in, please fill in every space. Every seat needs to be taken, so if there is an empty seat next to you, please move in to make space. Ladies here in the front row, please move over. Piyush. Piyush. We are at capacity, Piyush. Piyush, we're at 2512. Anybody who comes in at this point needs to go to 2512. Yes. IO leaders, please go up and stand at the top. Any student that comes in needs to go to room 2512. Did you guys just get in? We have some seats along here. Would you have a seat? You can come along here. Actually, come on up here. Come up here. It'll be easier for you. Just walk around over to the side. And that seat right in the middle, that's for you right there. Do you see it? Right here? Okay, the three guys, we have some seats down here right in the front. Right, three in a row. Three in a row right next to each other in the front. You guys could stay together and sit in the front. Who has an empty seat next to them? Raise your hand. 2 empty seats, 3 empty seats. Can you guys move in that empty seat? 4 empty seats. Piyush, we can take 4 more students. That's it. Good morning, new international students. Welcome. We are so excited to have you with us today and have you here at UHCL. My name is Megan Perry. I'm the International Education Specialist for the Office of International Admissions and Programs. Our office has helped to process each and every one of your applications to be here. So we know all of you very well, and we're so excited to finally get to meet you. So welcome. As I said earlier, I have really great news. You're one of the largest classes of international students that we've brought into the university at one time. That's such a great thing that we actually are broadcasting over to another room on campus because we've exceeded our room capacity. And so we are being joined by your fellow classmates over in room 2512. So a big hello over to them and welcome to everybody in 2512. This morning, or rather today, we have a great program for you. As we've communicated, it's important and vital that you attend every session today. We have checks throughout the day to make sure that you are attending, and you'll need to attend throughout the day in order to receive credit for attending the mandatory orientation. This is to make sure that you get all the important information because we've worked really hard to make sure that this helps you transition into the university. And so I'll be talking throughout the day if there's something that you need to do, like turn in a form. We are going to get started in a moment, but first, everybody should have a program that they were handed. On the back, it has the schedule. There are some things that our IO leaders, our friends in the green, please wave, all of our IO leaders, they are going to lead you around today. If you have a question, if you have a concern, please ask them. They have worked really hard this summer to prepare for you to be here, and they are so excited to welcome you and to have you here. We won't go through everything in your packet, but this is yours to keep. There's information in there that some offices have given, and today at the resource fair, you're going to get more information, and you're welcome to put that in there. So without a further ado, I am really pleased to introduce the president of our university, Dr. William Staples, to provide a welcome to you all.
Good morning. Welcome to the University of Houston-Clear Lake. We're delighted you're here. I'm happy for two reasons, at least two reasons. One is that you've all decided to continue your education. And secondly, that you've decided to continue your education here at the University of Houston-Clear Lake. Last year, we had the largest enrollment of international students in the history of the institution. And I think this fall we will actually top that. Right now, about 12% of all of our students here at UHCL are international. And so we're delighted you're here. Whether you've come a short distance or a long distance, we're very pleased that you'll be a student here at UH Clear Lake. Just a couple things from me. One, our primary focus is your success. Let me say that again. Our primary focus is your success. We want you to be successful. What does that mean? We want you to obviously have a good experience today, but as you move through the university all the way to graduation, okay? It's not enough to just enroll. It's not enough to just attend. We want you to end up being another alumni individual from the University of Houston-Clear Lake. We have a lot of things on campus to help you do that, okay, to help you be successful. Obviously, we have the Office of International Admissions and Programs, headed by Dr. Pandey. We also have the Intercultural Student Services Office, which is involved in a number of activities and programs on campus. But we also have a number of centers that are simply here to support you. We have a writing center, a math center, a student success center, a career and counseling center. All of those services, all of them, are simply here to support you because, as I said, our goal number one for us is your success. The good news is that last year we graduated over 2,000 students. And so far in the history of UH Clear Lake, we've awarded more than 60,000 degrees since we opened in 1974. This year is our 41st year of operation. You're also here during a very historic time for UH Clear Lake. Not only the biggest international enrollment, I think, again, in the history of the university, but we're also adding freshmen and sophomores for the first time, year one and year two. We've been what they call in the States an upper-level university, meaning junior, senior, years 3 and 4, master's students, and now we have 2 doctoral programs. But right now, we have 40 bachelor's, 45 master's degrees, and 2 doctoral degrees. But you are here because of you and our freshmen and sophomores at a very historic point in the history of the University of Houston Clear Lake. I'm pleased you're pursuing your education because your education will be the difference, there's no doubt about it, in the 21st century. Okay? Your education will be the difference. You are the future leaders. It's that simple. And so as we think of the 21st century, it's going to be marked by people that can work in diverse cultures, collaborate with different people, be successful in their own career, whatever that might be. And as we look at different cultures here at UH Clear Lake, it's important that we understand them, we appreciate them, and finally, we celebrate the diversity here at UH Clear Lake because it makes us a better institution. So again, I'm delighted you're here. Hope you have a very successful day today. If you have questions, ask them, okay? If you have a question, don't be hesitant about asking the question. But I hope you have a good day today, a good semester, and I look forward to seeing you on campus throughout this academic year. So again, welcome to the University of Houston Clear Lake. We're delighted you're here. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Staples. Next, we have Dr. Carl Stockton. He is the Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs and our Provost.
Good morning. Okay, you guys can do better than that. Good morning.
Good morning.
Great, great. As President Staples said, we're very excited that you have chosen to further your education at the University of Houston Clear Lake. I'm really thrilled that you're here to join us. I know that I've talked to many of you throughout as you came in a few days before our orientation to get oriented with the community and check out our campus. But we're very, very happy that you're here. As President Staples said, this is a record enrollment of international students. And those students that are in our overflow room watching this on video in room 2512, I want to welcome you also to our institution. Let me just say a couple of things that's I think it's important, and you're going to hear this several times throughout the day. In 2 years, approximately, plus or minus, of the semester, I look forward to shaking your hands as you walk across the stage and get your degree, okay? Let me repeat that. In 2 years, I hope 100% of you are walking across that stage and getting your degree at the University of Houston Clear Lake. We're here to support you. We want you to succeed. As President Staples just a few minutes ago mentioned, we do have many of the support services here, and please take advantage of them. I have a daughter in college, and she'll call me up and say, "Dad, will you proofread my paper, or will you help me with this?" And I'll say, "Go to the Writing Center, go to the Math Center. They're there to help you." And so I'm going to send the same message to all of you. If you need help, ask. Go to those different centers on campus. As you go through your orientation or as you have time, walk around our campus, find out where these centers are located, because we want you to be successful, okay? As we have, I was asking Megan how many students, new international students that we have, and we have approximately 550 new international students that are joining us this fall. This auditorium seats 500, so that's why we had the overflow room. Tells me that students have talked to other students. You've probably talked to students that came here, many of you, talked to your friends. If you do your part and work hard, you will get a quality education, and we're thrilled that you're here. Now, let me mention about the bus. That's probably one of the questions that's always asked. We've rented a couple of buses today to get you back and forth from your apartment complexes or wherever you're staying. We have another bus. It might start today or it might start tomorrow. It's a little smaller bus, and it has UH Clear Lake and the Hawk on there. It's all decorated. Last semester, it was in an accident, and so we were getting it repaired, and it was supposed to be finished today. So as you, later on in the semester, as you start going to class, you'll see that little bus driving around to pick you up. Let me also say that if any of you have cars or planning to get cars, the speed limit on campus is 30 miles an hour, okay? Now, I don't have to say that, but I'm trying to help you out. Our police department have a little radar gun, and not that they're trying to be unfriendly, they're trying to be friendly, but there have been cases where people have been doing 40 and 45 and 50 miles an hour on these small roads. So I don't want you to get a ticket. Matter of fact, some of my staff members in my office have gotten the radar gun and been given a warning. So if you're driving on campus, please, 30 miles an hour, and watch out for the deer, okay? We do have deer on our campus. And don't swim in the bayous with the alligators, because there are alligators in there. Okay, but on a serious note, if I know most of you have probably registered for classes. Some of you still have to add another class or two or register for classes. Please let us know if there's an issue with you getting classes. Please talk to your advisors. I've informed the deans to open more classes or try to accommodate you in your classes because, again, the last 2 years, last fall and this fall, we've had record enrollments, and so we're adding classes to accommodate all the students. Dr. Pandey's office, and I know Dr. Pandey will talk to you in a few minutes, in the Office of International Admissions and Programs. If you have any questions at all, please go ask that office, and if they can't give you the answer, which they should be able to, but they'll point you in the right direction, because we want you to make sure that you have a full set of classes, because we don't want to have to deal with immigration issues. We want you to be here, and we want you to be successful, okay? With that, I do want to publicly thank Megan Perry, for all the work that you have done and leading the office. I know that, and the staff in the office, I know that Dr. Pandey and Dr. Mugg, Varma, who you'll hear in a minute, listen to in a minute, they were on a trip overseas for the last 2.5 weeks, and every other day I'd go to Megan's office and said, everything okay? And because there were over 3,000, right, 3,500 applications, something like that we've been processed, and we're glad you're here. So have a good day, and if you see me in the hallway and you're lost and you feel like that first-year freshman all over again, which is normal, and you want to know where your classroom is, I'll try to help you. I still haven't figured out the maze in this building, but I'll try to help you. So congratulations. I'm glad you're here, and have a good day. Thank you. At this point, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Ronald Mugg Varma, who is my Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs. He'll tell you a little bit about, he was an international student from India coming into the United States. So he's been where you're sitting right now. So Dr. Varma.
Well, good morning and welcome to UH Clear Lake. I'm absolutely delighted that you are here, and let me tell you, as someone who has been an international student himself, I want to assure you that this is going to be your best season you have ever met. I was just asking Dr. Pandey about the date today, and today coincides with the 18th anniversary of my landing in the United States. Yes. So 18 years ago, I was like you on a plane from New Delhi to New York, and not knowing anything about this country, nothing. The only country I'd ever visited before in the Western Hemisphere was England. And so, well, I had traveled a little bit, but still it was very new to me. And I was going to University of Wisconsin-Whitewater to pursue my MBA. And every year I tell this thing to students. It's like a deja vu. My orientation and the things that I learned there, or I failed to learn there. Because, when you are new, you are jet lagged, and you are disoriented, full of anxieties, you miss your family, and there are a lot of questions in your head, and you try to sort all things out, and then the very first week, you have orientation, and you have information overload. But trust me, we have only one orientation, and learn as much as you can. Soak it all in, because this is going to be very helpful. As our president told you, success, your success, is very, very important to us. We want you all to succeed, and we don't want you to learn from your mistakes. We want you to do it right the first time, and you will do it right the first time, and you will succeed, I can tell you that. Just looking at you and the confidence that I see on your faces is very reassuring to me. Couple of things. I know you have a busy schedule, but I want to emphasize a couple of things. The first thing I want to emphasize is that this is a new country for you, a new academic system, new academic programs, new friends, new processes, new procedures, new rules, new regulations. And it's not just about your academic issues, it's also about immigration. And that's very, very, very important. When I was here 18 years ago, it was very natural for us all to generally gravitate to our seniors, to our friends, to our fellow countrymen, and ask them about rules and regulations and procedures. And I can tell you that many a times they were right, and many a times they were not. Given the new set of regulations that immigration has come up with over the past 10 years, my only suggestion to you is that if you have any issue, any concerns, any question related to your academic program or immigration, please, please, please go to the Office of International Admissions and Programs. We want you to get the right piece of advice, because otherwise it turns out to be really painful for everybody. So, yes, there are certain issues where you are better off consulting your friends, but when it comes to academic programs and immigration, please go to Office of International Admissions and Programs. The second thing that I wanted to emphasize is that, when I came here, at least with me, I was nervous, confused, dazed, and I was tentative. I really didn't know. My family was putting in all their money, and I was really tentative. I think my message to you is that you really enjoy your learning. This is a great opportunity for you all to learn as much as you can, and not just learn, but also enjoy learning as you go on this new journey. And last but not the least, I just want to let you know that a lot of effort goes into organizing an event like this. A lot of effort. We prepare for years, literally. I mean, right after today, we will start preparing for the next one, the next orientation. And I just want to thank the Office of International Admissions and Programs, especially Dr. Samir Pandey and Ms. Megan Perry, and all the international orientation leaders and their staff for the fabulous job they have done. Please join me in giving them a big round of applause. And thank you once again for choosing us as your destination university, and I wish you all the best on your journey. Thank you.
Okay, finally, we have my boss, the Executive Director of International Admissions and Programs, Dr. Samir Pandey.
Hello, everyone. I'll just add on to a few things to what people before me have said. A little bit about myself. I was an international student at UH Clear Lake. So a lot of the things that you are thinking about right now, or might be thinking, and a lot of the things you will go through, I have experienced on my own. Talking to an international advisor, looking for an on-campus job, if you have a scholarship, if you don't have a scholarship, housing, academic success. And this is why the new office, the Office of International Admissions and Programs, has been structured in a way that all exclusive needs of international students can be addressed by one office. So if you don't remember anything else, remember our office number and phone number, and you can come and talk to us. Because we will make sure that either we will answer the question for you, or if we are not the ones that have to answer the question, we will guide you to the right person, the right office. But never hesitate to come in and talk to us. As a personal philosophy, I always have an open door policy. My contact information, my email, my phone number is on the website. Feel free to call me, email me. If you are there, walk in. But as you just heard, in my job, I also have to travel a lot, and I have to be in a lot of meetings. So if it's something really critical that you want to talk to me about, email me and set up an appointment. Because that way we know for sure that that is the time that we can talk about. Everybody else in my office has the same philosophy. Come in, talk to them. The international advisors, they have worked really hard on all your documents, on your I-20s to get you here. And they want to see you succeed. They're also there to meet with you. But again, keep in mind, they also have a very busy schedule. So they will talk more about how you can set up appointments with them, what are the open hours. But the bottom line is never hesitate to come in to our office and ask for help. The last thing I want to say is a lot of times students come into the office when they have problems, and that is your right to do so. But I would also want you to come in and share the good news with us. So for example, you get a campus job, something else happens, you get engaged, something else happens, come in and tell us about it. Because we want to hear the good news as well, okay? UH Clear Lake is like a big extended family, and we want to hear the good, the bad, and again, be a part of this journey with you. So again, welcome to UH Clear Lake. I look forward to meeting you. Keep in mind, there are more than 500 of you. So if you tell me your name once, don't expect me to remember it the next time. So for the next few months, whenever you see me, remind me your name again, and hopefully by the end of the semester, I would remember most of them. Thank you.
Okay, I don't know that this ever happens with big conferences like this, but we're ahead of schedule. So we're just going to move along, and we're going to have our maintaining status presentation. So Miss Ann Umbright is going to come speak to you all about F1 status. But I have a few J1 students. So if you are a J1 student, Daniel, we have a list of a few, but if you know that you are a J1 student, there's really only 3 or 4 of you, please stand up, and you're going to follow Dr. Janelle Dembray. She's over here to the left, waving, just the J1. So go ahead and announce the name.
三峡大学的交换学生3位，对。
Okay, all 3?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So if anybody else is a J1, or she's a really great person. Also, Boomy in our Bayou 2512, if anyone over there is a J1 student, please go to Bayou 1335, okay? And Miss Ann Umbright. It has to be turned on. Yeah, you're good. And you're all set.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. First of all, before I start the presentation, I want to let you know that you're going to be receiving this document. It's going to be handed out during this presentation. You don't have it yet. It's going to be handed out during this presentation. and it is the new student registration form and immigration contract. So this will be passed out as I'm talking. When you're filling the information out, please, when you're doing the address, please know that I don't know where the cove is, so give me the street address, please, okay? So street address only. I don't need to know the name. Wolf Creek, I think, is another name. So if you would give us just the street address when you're filling part of that address out. But this will be collected. You need to complete it and sign it before the end of the day today. Okay, I'm moving on. I'm glad you're here. My presentation is maintaining your status. The way I like to think about maintaining your status is you have to put petrol in your car, because otherwise it won't go. If you don't maintain your status, then something is going to happen, and you might just stall out. So just kind of keep that in mind. If I can get this to work. Well, it appears we have technical issues already. And they're coming. So did everybody get breakfast? Good, good. We'll be just a couple minutes. We're losing the time we made up to be ahead.
Yeah, I got turned off.
Megan turned it. Told me she turned it on.
Yeah, she probably turned it
Yeah. All right. Okay. I'll try not to do that again. Okay. The location of the International Advising Office is in this building, second floor. If some of you haven't been to see us yet, we're in room 2123. The easiest way to remember this building is this side of the hallway is even numbers, the opposite side is odd. Our office hours are from 8 to 6, Monday through Thursday, and 8 to 5 on Friday. And express advising, these are for quick questions. Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 2 to 5. So we hope to see you. The advisors in our office is Miss Bianca Schomburg, and I don't know if Bianca's in here right now, but she is the assistant director, and she is advising students whose name, last name, surname begins with A through P, and then other visa categories. So an H4, or if there's an L, or whatever else you have. My name is Ann Umbright. I'm an international student advisor, and I'm advising students whose last name or surname begins with Q through Z. And then Dr. Janelle Dumbray, you briefly saw her just a few moments ago. She's our associate director for the office, and she advises J1 and J2 students. Now, most of this information, there's probably a few of you that are in H4 status and probably thinking, why am I here? Well, you're here because we have found that most H4 students at some point in time have a desire to work, and so they would change their status over to F1. So that's part of the reason why we have everybody attend. Our website, our email is located up here. Again, we have the express advising Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 2 to 5, or make an appointment. You can call our office. Our student diplomats are always at the front desk. You can email us for an appointment. You can call in, or you can just walk in. Okay, immigration documents. Most of you know what they are, but we're going to just review them quickly for you today. Your I-20, your passport, your visa, your admission stamp or I-94 card or document. We recommend that you make copies of all yours and any dependents you may have, and keep the documents in a safe place, not with your original documents. There has been occasion where students have lost them. Okay, the things I want to point out on the I-20. Who can study? And that's the person's name on the top. Surname, first name. Where can you study? Now, some of you have an I-20 right now that does not say University of Houston Clear Lake because you transferred in. You'll be getting a new one. That new one will have University of Houston Clear Lake on it. What can you study? You have told us what major that you're planning on studying. And we have given you 2 dates. There's a date when you start, which is 8/25 of 2014. Most of your programs last either 24 or 30 months. That is the end date. That end date is important to know. If you have to extend your stay for whatever reason, that end date that's when that I-20 expires. You do not want your I-20 to ever expire. Now that date is different to the date on the third page. The third page, the signature there and the date there is for your travel signature. That has to be updated every year while you are an F1 student. It's valid for 1 year only. When you move and go to OPT, if many of you will, then it's only valid for 6 months. If you change your major, you have to let us know. Your I-20 has to be current. Okay? We talked about the date on the third page. This is the one I was talking about. And a lot of people say, oh, I don't know when it expires. You look at the date, and this line right here states that it is valid for 1 calendar year. 1 calendar year. You need that to be current when you enter the United States. If you stay here and you don't travel, it's a non-issue. When you do CPT or OPT, there will be comments in the comment section. This one, for the example, is blank. If you do OPT or CPT, that will be filled in. If you've transferred, that will be filled in. Anytime there is an event that happens, that will be filled in. Your passport must be valid at all times for at least 6 months beyond the period of stay. So if you entered the country and your visa expires next May and you decide to travel next June, you better have a new passport. Okay, so that's very important to keep it current. There's consulate and embassies here in Houston. They can help you. Your visa. You don't like the picture? Oh, come on. Okay, your visa must be valid to travel into the US. However, if you're here and it expires, that's okay. If you're going to leave and come back into the United States, it needs to be valid. So it doesn't affect your legal status in the United States, but it must be valid to travel into the United States. This is several pictures of what an I-94. Not very many people have the cards anymore. They'll just have the stamp. The important thing to note about this one, it puts your status on there as far as your visa. This one's an F1. If you're an H4, it would say H4. D/S, that says duration of stay. So whatever dates, the to and from dates on the program on your I-20, that is your duration of stay. If you have OPT or some other things come up and you extend, then that will extend with it. Okay? If you have a date here, you need to come and see us immediately. because that means there's a problem and we need to get it sorted out. We only have about 5 to 7 business days to do so. This is what most of you probably have, is the electronic version now. Okay, we're going to talk about a visa, and we're going to talk about an immigration status. The way I like to think about it is a visa is a physical stamp in your passport. It might have a pretty picture. Your immigration status is indicated in your passport, but it's not a tangible item. You're the ones that make the difference on your immigration status. If you follow the rules, you're not going to have a problem. So we like to try and compare the visa stamp. Your immigration is indicated in your passport. Your visa is used to request admission to the US. Your immigration status allows you to stay. Your visa can expire without penalty. Your immigration status must be current at all times. A visa can be renewed at the consulate. Your immigration status can be extended. We're the ones that can help you do that. Okay, who do you get advice from? As you heard earlier today, you can talk to your friends, but everybody's situation may be that little bit different, and that little difference might make a world of difference. So we recommend that you don't go to your faculty advisor. They know about academics. They don't know about immigration necessarily. Your academic advisor is in the same category. Your friends and family, you know, if they've been through it, they might know some of it, but have things changed since they did it? And that's why we recommend that you come to our office, because that's the reason we're here. You're responsible for your F1 status, nobody else. It's not our fault if you do something wrong. We're here to try and help you, to guide you, to give you the information you need to succeed and stay legal. We don't send a lot of emails, but when we do, please read them. We're sending them for a purpose. We also send newsletters, and that is to give you information. We've talked about CPT, we've talked about OPT briefly. We have sessions every month for these, and that's to go into more depth into each of these areas. Full-time enrollment, graduate students, 9 credits. Only 3 of those 9 credits can be online. Undergraduate students, 12 credits. These are minimums. Only 3 credits can be online. So you have to maintain, that's part of maintaining your status, that you have to be fully enrolled. Okay, there's no, if you're in your last semester and you've only got 2 classes left, that's a different story. But for most of your program, you have to be enrolled full-time. Summer session, there's no enrollment requirement unless that's the first session that you start. Should I enroll in face-to-face or online? We just talked about that. Only 3 credits of online can count towards the full-time requirement. The 9 credits for the graduate student, the 12 credits for the undergraduate student. The types of classes we have here, there's 100% online, there's 100% with face-to-face supplement, there's greater than 50% online, and there's equal to 50% online. They're all online, okay? Any of those categories are considered online, okay? Reduced course load authorization must be documented. This happens most often in your graduating semester. Okay, and you must enroll in at least 1 face-to-face course. There's times when documented medical condition, we'll need information from doctors. And you must request and receive permission before enrolling in less than full-time. If you don't enroll in full-time status in your classes, then we're going to be emailing you, and if you don't rectify the situation, we'll have to end your status here. We don't like doing that. So, concurrent enrollment. This is another option. Sometimes students want classes that are not available here, or they want an extra class. You can do concurrent enrollment, which means you can be registered here at the University of Clear Lake, and you can register at San Jacinto College or Houston Community College. Again, it can be counted as towards your full-time enrollment as long as you go to a CVIS certified school. CVIS is the government computer system that we have to use to register and make sure everything about you and your individual case is in the system for the government. That's one of our requirements. All you need to do is complete an online request. We have tried to get as much online as possible for you. Submit the proof of registration. Submit the final transcript at the end of the semester. When you are approved for concurrent enrollment, we do put a hold on your account, and that's to make sure that you bring the transcript to us at the end of the semester, and then we remove it. Change of address. Some of you are moved here and you're in temporary housing for now, or you've moved in with someone until you find someplace. You are required to submit your change of address to our office within 10 days. That is for the entire time you are an F1 student of the University of Clear Lake. Okay? Traveling outside of the US, you're going to need a travel signature. Right now, you're good through next year this time. But next summer, you might decide to go home and have a visit. So you'll need to make sure that your travel signature is up to date. Now, because you got it now, doesn't mean to say that before next summer you haven't gotten a new I-20 because you might have changed a major, or some other occurrence might have happened. If you're an H4, maybe you have asked for a change of status. So always pay attention to that date. You have 1 year from that date. We recommend you have it signed once a year, just to be sure. Again, it's an online request. You have to, however, provide your original I-20. We are not allowed to send you email copies of I-20s. I'm sure some of you already received emails from us of that when you were traveling and wondering if it was going to arrive on time. And the same goes for travel signatures. We have to have the original. The government does not allow us to just keep reprint and reprint. Okay, if you transfer to a new school, you must make sure that your CVIS record follows you. You get one number, and as you move around, and there's some of you probably in here today who are transferring in from another school. You will get a new I-20. We will email you when your new I-20 is complete. Change of academic level. You need to get a new I-20. You started as a bachelor's, you've graduated, and you've decided you want to stay and do a master's degree. Change in academic program. We've talked about that one also. That needs to be current on your I-20. If you're in business management information systems and decide you want software engineering or School of Education to be a teacher, you need to let us know. The department is, the academic department is the one that actually does the change, but you need to bring a copy to our office because we're the ones that changes your I-20. Extension of I-20, you must apply for an extension prior to the I-20 expiration. We talked about that before. We do not want your I-20 to expire. If it expires, then we have to go through reinstatement process. It's much easier to talk to us, get it extended, get it approved, than to have to go through the reinstatement process, which takes several months. Employment, they're going to be talking about employment this afternoon. It's going to be several sessions. So those of you that are interested in employment, you can work on campus. So that will be talked about later. But do not work off campus. It is not allowed on an F1 visa. What do you do after you complete your program? You have a 60-day grace period. You must do one of the following: leave the US, receive a new I-20 for a different program, change your status, or apply to OPT if you're eligible. You have to be, and the H4 students in the room, it's one of the reasons that people change their status from H4 to F1 is so they're eligible to work. You have to be in F1 status for a minimum of a year in order to be eligible for OPT. These are examples of violating your status. You let your I-20 expire, not a good thing. You're not enrolled full-time, and you've not got a reduced course load or concurrent enrollment. You didn't change your address. You didn't let us know. UHCL, when you're doing different things with them, I had a student this week say to me, I had a phone call from UHCL. Do you know what they want? We have no idea. They decided they were going to call this student, so I don't know if there was something going on or what, but we had no idea. They don't tell us because we're not the student. Excuse me. Working off campus, a definite no, unless you have the appropriate authorization. Working on campus, beyond 20 hours a week. You're allowed to work up to 20 hours a week while school is in session, fall semester, spring semester. On breaks or summer session, if you're not in school, you can work 40 hours. Being out of status means you could get deported. You could require a new visa. They could just terminate your visa. You could be stopped from re-entering the US. You could be denied future benefits and a loss of work benefits, both on and off campus. Health insurance. Now, we have a session on health insurance next week on the 27th at 2 p.m., and that's the room number. If you probably will not remember this next week, but just remember Monday, health insurance. You may be eligible to apply for a waiver of your health insurance. There are certain requirements. You have to have medical coverage of $50,000. You have to have evacuation of $10,000, repatriation of $7,500, and the dates of coverage are specific. For fall semester, it has to have a start date of the first day of class, which is 8/25, August 25th, and it has to have an end date of the first day of class of spring semester, which is January 20th. So that is an online process. We do things in our office to assist with that, but the actual waiver is done online. But we're having an information session next week, so feel free to come if you have more questions. Additional resources, information sessions throughout the semester, and again, most of the time, they're about once a month. We have OPT, optional practical training. That's where you can work after you finished your degree program. CPT, curricular practical training. That is internships, co-ops. That has to be part of your plan of study. And that is the key for being approved for CPT. Change of status. There's people here that may want to change their status. We have a session for that. And then the health insurance waiver session. Again, I talked about the newsletter. We have a newsletter that went out about a week and a half ago. Hopefully you all received it. But there's always pieces of information in that we think are important to you. This is a website that talks about studying in the United States that may be helpful. And I am done. Thank you for your attention.
So if everybody can take a moment to fill out your form that was handed out to you. That's this one that says International Advising Fall 2014 New Student Registration Form. You need to fill out the front information above from student information and academic immigration information, above staff use only, and on the back you need to print and sign the agreement. And then you need to pass it to your right. Everybody's going to pass to the right. No passing to the left. Our guys on the right, wave your hands. You're going to pass it over to them and they're going to collect it. We just have a minute or two to fill out this form, so please finish it quickly. As you finish these forms quickly, please pass them to the right. In Bayou 2512, Felina, please collect all of the contracts. We do have another speaker here, so please work to fill this out as quickly as possible.
When you're completing the address, make sure you put the street number that we talked about earlier this morning. And make sure you sign the back page. Thank you.
Okay, please finish up your sheets. Pass them over to your right. You need to fill out the front top information and on the back side, you need to sign and print your name. We still have another presentation in here, so please do not leave. If you have completed your form, you need to pass it over to the right-hand side. We need to get started on the next presentation. If you are done filling out your form, please pass it in. There are many of you just looking at your form. Please pass it in. Pass it to your right or I know. If you've completed your form, please pass it over. We need to get them turned in. If you have a form ready to turn it in, please raise it up high. Raise it up high. Our IO leaders and our staff are ready to collect from you. Are all forms turned in? If you have a form, please hold it up high. It needs to be turned in. If you have a form, hold it up high. I see a couple forms out there. Please turn them in now. Brent, the live stream has stopped over in the other room, Brent, if you can help us fix that. Are all forms turned in? Do I have a yes from our staff? All forms turned in? Anybody still have a form in our crowd? No? Okay. Thank you very much. We are going to get started with our next speaker. Our interim dean of students, Mr. David Rakita, will have a short presentation for us.
Good morning. Wow, that's pretty good. I'm impressed. I'm not going to ask you to do it again. Usually I have to ask groups to do it 2 or 3 times. Welcome to UH Clear Lake, and congratulations on being Hawks. We are so excited to have you here at UH Clear Lake. We're looking forward to a wonderful school year. I know that you all are going to do wonderful, that you're going to be successful. I am the Dean of Students at UH Clear Lake. And for the most part, what that really means for you is 2 things. One, my office, it may be me, it may not be me, it may be my staff. My office is here to help you figure out problems or solutions to issues that you don't know how to get solved, okay? We may not be able to solve it for you, but we can direct you to the person who can. So you come to the Dean of Students office or the Student Assistance Center, the SAC, which we call a one-stop shop, and later today on your tour, your orientation leaders will show you where that office is, and we probably can help you figure out problems that you have with the university, or at least give you an answer that maybe you'll understand more. Okay, that's the first thing that my office can do for you. The second thing that I do for you as Dean of Students, which really is not a fun, warm, fuzzy, happy thing that I do, is that I am the conduct officer, the student disciplinarian. So if a student gets in trouble, I'm the guy that has to deal with it. You deal with me, all right? Which is not my favorite part of the job, but if I have to do that, that's what I have to do. Later today, you all are going to hear me talk about academic honesty and classroom civility, behaving in the classroom. We're going to talk about that later today. And so I'll tell you more about that when I meet with you then. Right now, what I'm going to talk to you very quickly, I've only been given 10 minutes, I've already used 2 of that, is a topic that is not necessarily comfortable to talk about. But what I need you to know is that the federal government, the United States government, has now made it a mandate for universities and colleges to talk to all of its students, whether you're domestic or international, about a sexual assault. So I am mandated by the government to talk to you about this topic, which is a little uncomfortable and not something that you would think that you would hear in an orientation presentation. But the other reason that we need to talk about this is because of this saying right here. What happens to one of us happens to all of us. And so not only do I have to legally tell you about this, but this is important because we take all of you seriously and we care about you. And the only way that you're really going to be successful is if you care about each other as well and you treat each other with respect. So, I apologize that we're going to talk about this topic, but at the same time, I do not apologize because it's very, very important. Now, most of this information that I talk about talks about women, but this includes men as well because men can be sexually assaulted, okay? The United States has always taken this topic very, very seriously. There's always been laws that have protected both women and men from sexual assault. But in 1994, the VAAA, which is the Violence Against Women's Act, was passed. And in 2013, it was reauthorized, and it was made stronger, and that is when universities and colleges were given a mandate that we had to do mandatory training on campus for all faculty, staff, and for all students. And that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so all of your peers across the nation are getting the same message, maybe on the same day, same week. What I want you to know, and I apologize, I have to look up at my notes here as I talk to you, that you do not have to be discriminated because of your sex, whether you're a man or a woman. It's not right. You need to know that you should not be sexually taken advantage of or mistreated. It's not okay. You need to know that the university will not tolerate you being treated differently because of your sex, your sexual orientation, or your sexual relationships. You should not be mistreated. You should know that any report of sexual misconduct will be treated seriously, swiftly, with confidence, meaning that you're safe with us, and that we're going to give you the utmost respect if you're the victim. Okay? You need not to be embarrassed by it. There are definitions that we need to go over with you so that you understand what we're talking about. Sexual harassment is any kind of unwelcome advance. Requests for sexual favors, verbal or physical harassment of a sexual nature. That is what sexual harassment is. It includes domestic violence, dating violence, stalking, and sexual assault. Sexual assault is any act, no matter how big or small. And that is really important for you to understand. Sexual assault could be the most extreme, awful act that we all know about, which is rape. That's sexual assault. But it could also be touching, someone trying to steal a kiss, grabbing your hand, and you don't want it. And you've said no, or you didn't say no, but you didn't say yes. And we're going to talk about that in a second. So it could be, it's really not all that funny, okay? It could be very extreme. I want you to understand this. It could be rape, but it could be something very, very simple, which is unwanted. Like, you try to hold my hand and I don't want you to hold my hand. That can be sexual assault, and that could get you kicked out of school, okay? Domestic dating violence, that's when you're living with a partner or you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, maybe you're not living together, and they are very aggressive, very overpowering. They control you, control everything you do, say, where you go, what you wear, who you hang out with. That's domestic violence, and that could be sexual assault. Stalking is another kind of sexual assault or misconduct, and that's where somebody will not leave you alone. He or she continues to follow you. Maybe he wants to have a relationship with you, and you don't. But he won't let it go. Won't leave you alone. That's stalking. Phone calls, following you up and down the hallways, always showing up at your doorstep. But with technology, it could also be continued text messages, Facebook posts, sending negative messages to your friends via social media or technology. That's stalking as well. A big issue with sexual assault or misconduct is whether or not a person is in the relationship consensually, gives their consent, their permission. You may have two people who want to be intimate, but one person says, I don't want to go any further sexually in this relationship. We've kissed, but I don't want to do any more than that. Or I don't want to kiss at all. The person has to give consent, but you need to understand the definition of consent. It cannot be unambiguous. If it's not clear, it's not consent. A lot of times people will say, well, he or she didn't say no, so I'm skipping right down here. No means no. Not saying yes means no. Okay? Consent must be freely given. You can't trick a person or threaten a person into a sexual relationship or being intimate with you. If you trick them, it's sexual misconduct, and you're in trouble. It's active, which means that 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, even 1 minute ago, I may have given you consent and said, yes, I want to have this sexual intimacy with you right now. But all of a sudden, I become uncomfortable, and I now say no. Consent is active, which means I have permission to 1 minute say yes, and the next minute say no. And the other person has to respect that. It must be coherent. If the person is not in the right frame of mind, they're drunk, they're intoxicated, they're passed out, it's not a yes, it's not consent. It does not give you permission to have a relationship or intimacy with that person. It's unassuming, which is what I said earlier. Just because I didn't say no, let me repeat that. Just because I did not say no doesn't mean I said yes. It's got to be a clear yes, or it's sexual assault. I don't know, I'm not sure, I don't think so, it doesn't feel right. Those aren't yeses, those are nos. Do you understand? Okay. How do you help a friend who's been victimized? Ladies, women, I'm going to talk to you right now. Women, if you are in a situation with a friend, you're at a party, you're at someone else's apartment, and you see someone trying to have an intimate connection with your friend, and it is obvious that your friend does not want any part of this. It is your responsibility, ladies, to get her out of there, to cause a distraction, to get that person, whether it's a man or another woman, away from your friend. Okay? We're in this together. Men, I am now talking to you, gentlemen, from a man to a man. First of all, none of this is right. If this is how you treat a woman, it's wrong. But you have a responsibility. If you see one of your guy friends stalking, starting to mistreat a woman, any of the definitions, any of the actions I've just talked about, you see a man your friend, trying to have an intimate relationship with a young lady, and it's obvious that she doesn't want it, or he's mistreating her, it's your responsibility to stop him, to get her away from there. That's your job, okay? And I expect that of you. If somebody comes to you, whether it's a man or a woman, and says, I've been sexually assaulted, I've been raped, I've been touched, listen to them. Give them respect. Do not blame them. Right now is not the time to say things like, she asked for it, or, well, she had a little too much to drink, or, well, why were you wearing those clothes? Now's not the time to ask those questions, because you know what? It doesn't matter. She's been hurt, and he needs to be taken care of. Do not blame. Get medical attention quickly if need be. If a person's been raped, she or he needs to get to the hospital so tests can be done quickly. Report it to the police. Report it to me. Go to our counseling center if you don't trust the police department or you don't trust me. Go see a school counselor. Go to our health center to see a doctor or a nurse if you don't trust me or the police station. File a complaint. You can do that at the Central Campus, U of H Central Campus. You can do that with me. You don't trust us, you can do it on something called mysafecampus.com. And it can be anonymous. We have community report. We have crisis centers that can help women who have been battered. We have prevention programs where we do workshops and trainings, more like what I'm talking about right now. Immediate resources, the counseling center. Even if you do not want to report that you've been sexually assaulted or a friend of yours has been sexually assaulted, maybe you don't want to tell me, maybe you don't want to turn in a police report, but you're hurting, you're upset, you're emotionally distraught, go see our counselors. It's confidential. They can't tell me, they can't tell the police, they can't tell your professors, they can't tell your mother or father that you went to see a counselor. for any reason, whether it has to do with this topic or is just you're having issues at school and you're depressed, go to the counseling center. It's confidential and it's safe. It's between you and them. Of course, the police department, we have a crisis awareness emergency team, which I am the chair for. You could report it there. You could also report it to the University Houston system, which is our mother campus, if you don't feel safe reporting it to us. I want you to see this video real quick. It's kind of powerful. It's very short, but basically it's saying what I'm saying. We as a society are not going to take this any longer. Whether you're a man or a woman, you should not be assaulted or sexually mistreated. It's about respecting each other, okay? And that's what I expect of you as students at UH Clear Lake. So we're going to see this video very quickly if it works, and then I'll say goodbye.
No more, it's none of my business. No more, I'm sure they'll work it out.
No more, boys will be boys.
No more, I'll say something next time.
No more, why didn't she tell anyone?
No more, she was flirting with him.
No more, she's too smart to let that happen.
Oh, that ended a little quickly, I think. But that's okay, because they keep saying no more. So do you get the point? All right. We need to treat each other with respect. All right? Whether it's this topic or in the classroom or at your activities, treat each other with kindness and compassion and respect, and you're going to do a great job here at UH Clear Lake. You're going to get a chance to see me later talking about another fun topic, academic dishonesty. So I look forward to that time this afternoon. Enjoy the rest of orientation. Make sure you're paying attention to Miss Megan here, because she knows what she's talking about, and she's here to help you get through the university successful. Pay attention. Have a great day.
Okay, everyone, we are going to be dispersing, but I need everyone's full attention. Some of you will be staying here, okay? So first, we have to dismiss our freshman and sophomore students. We have 10 names to read off. If you hear your name and you know you're a freshman or a sophomore, you're transferring in with under 45 credits.
I'm reading the last name first. So it's going to be Alabdul Musen Hussain, Sharma Anita, Sapkota Kul, Mathur Yash Pratap,
Nguyễn Bình, Nguyễn Tiến, Thái Nguyễn, Nguyễn Vi, Lê Trung.
If you just heard your name, whether you're in this room or over in Bayou 2512, I need you to stand up right now, and you are going to follow your leader.